just question for us. Do you want us to just go like all out, like full arena DPS, like everything? Or
Yep. Treat this as a real game.
All right.
You hear that, Cross?
I can't treat this like a real game.
You have to treat this like a real game. It's practice.
But I can't do what I usually do. I can't mess with y'all.
We'll get to hunt, don't worry.
How are we gonna get better if you don't let us?
Just imagine smash our faces and just do it in reality. The keyboard. Not my best point.
So with Hank and Kyra, the Trapper and Assault usually,
Okay.
but you'd be surprised. I remember
you really
what
want that?
I remember what I was going to say. As Hank, especially when everyone starts at the beginning of a dome, if everyone's topped off, please stay on yeah, exactly. Wait until they've taken about 15 to 20% and then start shielding, because otherwise your medic's sitting there doing nothing, and I'd rather have laser cutter damage add up than napalm crappy damage, because the healer has nothing to do.
Cool.
I did also like, as a support and medic, your positioning is going to be the most important, because you basically want to stay stationary, so you have a full jetpack ability once the monster starts to focus you.
How aggressive do you guys want to play?
As Kyra, I usually save my adrenaline field for when I get focused. Is that a good idea?
Yes. We'll talk a little bit more. I have to see how your post-dome chase is and kind of go from there. Also, have you guys kind of figured out what kind of roles you're playing, or are they all going to be based on what monster he is, or how have you figured that out?
I don't think we've really gotten too far into that, but I think the idea is so far that everybody sticks to a certain class,
okay.
And then we just change the character depending on what we're running.
Cool.
Right now our medic is here, so we're having our assault player medic, our support play assault, and our me play our me.
Okay.
Release the dust.
Okay.
This is the same dome as before. Watch out, it's right.
I like that they recognize it was the same dome as before. Nice dodge of the Warp Blast. It's okay if the Assault takes a little bit of damage. There's no reason for him to avoid. He should save the jetpack for traversal. Nice. Be careful about that Supernova, just because they're not against the wall. Ooh, the support getting hard focused. And that would have been a perfect opportunity for the actual orbital. Nice dodge by Task for the Warp Blast.
I'm coming towards you.
Got nades now.
Watch out, that's moving.
Big Warp Blast there. Nice harpoon, was able to prevent the medic from being chased after. And here comes a chain juggle.
Watch out, Warp Blast. Yep, I'm getting him. Come on, this deep water sucks. Oh, how'd that still hit me?
I do like seeing the Assault really close, trying to interrupt melee attacks. That's really good for Bonzo. These guys aren't taking strikes. Oh, there they are. Oh, so that was paying attention. I thought that was a partner. Never mind. Nice dodge by Task Force again. And so that's how you avoid Warp Blast. Now, one thing to use with Cabot is throw it or use his ability when he's in a Toxic Grenade.
Keep it up.
Good job.
Okay, he's retreating. Heal, heal, heal. Oh god. Damage, damage, damage. Good job.
GG.
Good job throwing ammo.
That got pretty crazy.
A couple things is I like the Assault's usually the best person to call out for damage amp if possible, just because he's the one who's going to be doing the most damage with it anyway. But also realize that your Toxic Grenade is a very good solid source, especially against a Wraith. So if the Wraith does Supernova, throw one in the middle of the Supernova and then amp, because the monster either takes a lot of damage or he gets out of the Supernova. So either way, it's a win-win.
Okay.
This cave over here is what?
Interesting. Monster goes and...
If he goes in there, we gotta take it slow.
So it looks like he's just going for armor.
Okay. Assault, lead the way.
See where they're... So this kind of area is bad. So this tree is going to be really important because you always want to block line of sight with monsters, especially with Wraith, Abducting, and Warp Blast. So that tree is actually going to play very important. Ooh, that Warp Blast, very strong Warp Blast, hits 3 people, and the personal shield was not engaged in time. That's going to be very, very hard to recover from. Ooh, nice timing on that Warp Blast. So it looks like that the Wraith is 3 Warp Blast, 3 Abduct. So high juggle build. Oh, nope, he does have Supernova.
Almost bad positioning now.
Going back.
I'll have to ask the monster if the monster is going to be the main for the team, so I can give advice. So the big thing is when you Supernova, you generally don't want to do it out in the middle of the open area because hunters can get out of it pretty easily. Same thing with on elevation. You usually use it when you knock somebody towards a wall, and then you can kind of just like, you know, pummel them into the stomach. I think Task has a damage reduction. It seems like he lived a long time. So, oh, the trap! Plant! No! Oh, someone got knocked in. And there goes that Warp Blast. Ooh, that Warp Blast is so good. Really, really solid Warp Blast from the Wraith here. So, as Griffin, the Harpoon, it's hard to always be, like I said, I'm going to be a little bit more critical than normal, but it's really, really easy to get in the notion where you kind of Harpoon kind of anywhere, and if the monster is facing you and you Harpoon the monster, it does absolutely nothing, aside from mediocre damage. I think he's just toying with his food. Blarf.
Monster wins.
GG. Tiebreaker.
GG.
Bonzo, I'm trying to do my best, but call that amp out when you're ready for it, okay?
Yeah, I think my mic was a little quiet.
Alright, yeah, just like when you pull out that flamethrower and get some damage, just yell at me, or I'll get it specifically.
Ooh, so this dome has a lot of catering, so this is going to be a supernova.
Yeah, it is. We want.
So they should be able to hear that and hear the abduct. Ooh, unfortunately didn't grab the food in time. Ooh, a decoy. Wow. I like that he's splitting up his skill set.
Red.
Yeah, decoy. Decoy and induction.
Nice avoid.
I don't think it's supernova.
Nade going on Utah.
Ooh. See, and this is what the monster does, is reposition. Ooh. It's 2 people still. Ooh, that's going to be very scary. Medic getting solid.
Watch out for the decoy.
Dropping a nade on Bandit.
If you have close, you need to use it.
Amp him.
Oh, that Warp Blast.
Too slowly.
Another double hit with the Warp Blast.
Bear's in the corner.
Nice. I like the assault taking hits for the medic.
Watch out, killer.
So the abduct for the body will happen pretty soon. So they should be calling that that's a decoy.
Stop chasing.
Yeah. They should have been camping the body as soon as they knew that that was a decoy. At least one of them. Ooh, that's bad. So it is still doable. Cabot and Hyde can do enough damage to kill him. He preempted his personal shield. Didn't need to do that in my opinion.
Watch out, no for that.
There's the Warp Blast. There's a decoy.
He's still sitting back here behind me, the real one.
Really, boy?
Yeah. There goes the assault. Cabot and Griffin. They probably could have done enough, but it would have been very, very, very hard. So here comes a sneak pounce. No sneak pounce.
Oh, no dead.
Good team. Oh no, no worries, Erdis. I'm glad you got it.
What?
Whoa!
What was that?
I I don't buy that
GG.
one.
GG.
Okay, let's go ahead and back up.
How would that go?
No problem, Ernest. I'm glad that you enjoyed your giveaway.
What type of crap was that? I hugged you through the tree.
Yeah, there's a couple of places that if the wall is small enough, you can actually abduct through things. That being the case, pretty good. However, I think the biggest things were when he was able to get Warp Blast on 2 or even 3 of you at a time. So just be very, very careful with the Wraith. You really, really, really want to be spread out, much more so than other monsters, because if you can avoid the Warp Blast, that's pretty much the only scary thing that the Wraith kind of has. Supernova is relatively easy to avoid. Just don't put your back to a wall, and it's really easy to get out of. And then, Decoy, you can kind of just ignore and all that kind of stuff. So just be very, very careful about grouping up. Bonzo, though, I really, really liked how you were getting the monster's face to try and take some of the hits away from the medic. Very, very solid play. In fact, that's exactly what you want to do. Always stand in front of the monster. Always try and stand near it, because if the monster abducts, it will abduct you, and if it tries to move or traverse, it's going to hit you, and it actually gets stopped. So always try and body block whenever you can, especially if you're not being super focused, because the medic can keep you up and all that kind of good stuff. So really good job. With the Trapper, just remember that if the monster is facing you, the Harpoon does absolutely nothing if it comes towards you. So in a group like with Cabot, I would actually be relying a lot more on your actual machine gun than your Harpoon, especially against Wraith, because Wraith kind of just wrecks your stupid Harpoon gun anyway. So I would have been waiting for those damage amp callouts and then just automatically switching straight on over and then just helping the assault burn through the damage amp things. That being the case, there was a tree in the Senkit Dome. So the best thing to avoid Warp Blast and Abducts is always kind of do what the monster normally does in running around pillars, but use trees and bushes. It is very, very easy to avoid getting abducted and Warp Blasted when the monster has to constantly navigate around some sort of an obstacle. I wouldn't use big giant pillars because the pillars are really big and the monster will get a straightaway on you. But if you kind of hug around a tree and then if you hear the Warp Blast, just kind of scoot back a couple of feet and it'll miss almost every single time. But really good job. Let's do one more arena and then we will go ahead. Hold on one second.
I think you stopped talking for some real life reason.
Yeah, apparently sorry about that, everyone. Apparently my thing.
My dad.
Yeah, it went back up. Yeah, I don't know. We lost the internet for like a tenth of a second. What part did I cut out on?
The very last sentence.
Oh, okay, so not very long then. That being the case, so yeah, always just try and use line of sight. The big offenders for line of sight are the Kraken and then Wraith, whereas Goliath and Behemoth, they kind of do line of sight, but it's more vertical and other kind of things, so I'm not too worried about that. So we'll do one more arena, and then we'll go ahead and get some of Hunt games going.